Srila Abhay Chanana Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupad Paramamsa Parivachakachaya Ashtadava Shanta Shri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Nama Chaya Shri Hari Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Gaurang Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, alle Ehre sei den versammelten Gott geweiht, alle Ehre sei den versammelten Gott geweiht, alle Ehre sei den versammelten Gott geweiht, alle Ehre sei Shishi Guru, alle Ehre sei Srila Prabhu. Es kommt zu leicht runter. So, wir lesen aus dem Transcendental Diary. Schauen wir Prabhu. Soll ich Englisch sprechen oder Deutsch? Deutsch, ne?
Englisch.
Und du? Kannst du wenig. Englisch ist okay für alle? Muss mir ein englisches Bhagavatam geben gleich. So, dieses Buch ist ja sowieso auf Englisch hier. Wo sind wir denn hier?
Ist das ein Lesezeichen?
Ja, aber es könnte hier sein oder auch da.
Hier.
Auf der Seite? Oder auf der?
Muss ein Pfeil sein.
Ich sehe keinen Pfeil. Früher war mal ein Pfeil. Ich denke an keinen. Australia. Yesterday, have you read Madhudvisha's letter? Or have you read Harikesha reading something from Fiji? In both cases, it's about a letter that Prabhupada receives. It's not very clear. You want to have a look? Yes. Kannst du dich erinnern, was gestern dran war?
Nee. Haben wir Prabhupada gelesen? Nicht, also das sind
Dann vorgestern, wann das letzte Mal gewesen? Ja? Ja. Fiji. No, the first was Fiji, the second was Australia. I'm going to read again what the letter from Australia is about because now Prabhupada's reaction comes. And the reaction without the original letter may not make sense for us. So, okay, so Prabhupada is reading his letters, or he's not reading them, someone reads them to him. And the one who is reading is Harikesh Swami. Who of you knows Harikesh Swami? Personally? Met him? No. Yeah, but he's famous. No? So the second letter came from Australia. It was a report suggesting that Madhudvisha, it's about Madhudvisha, may have misappropriated a large amount of money, $250,000, when he left there. I don't know because Australia also has dollars. If this is American dollars or Australian, I think Australian is much less. But I think they're speaking about American dollars. Otherwise, we don't have perspective. Everyone knows the value of dollars, American dollars, but Australian dollars we don't. However, this has not been proven, nor it is even confirmed that the money is actually missing, because the Australian temples are not in the habit of keeping accurate accounts. Yeah. There has been no word from the GBC Guru Kripa Swami, and according to Harikesh Swami, no one knows where he is at the present moment. So a little bit confusing the situation. Now Prabhupada's reaction. Prabhupada is obviously concerned and disturbed by these different reports, but he is not saying very much. His comment after the letter from Australia was simply two words. You can guess. What is Prabhupada saying? Do you know what happened to Madhudvisha, who he was? Yeah? Can you tell us a little bit?
He was in Australia.
He was a GBC there. And then what happened?
I think it's later on that he.
Yeah. No, he had an affair with a woman, but he was not also sannyasi, one of Prabhupada's leading sannyasis, and he was very powerful. He was a leader of Australian and New Zealand yatra, maybe more, I'm not sure. So, but then he had problems with his ashram and he had an affair and disappeared. Well, what can you do in this situation? This happened many times. Or this happened several times. Because at that time, our sannyasis in the movement, except for Prabhupada, they were all in the 20s. I think now no one in ISKCON is given sannyas in the 20s. and not in the 30s, and I think also not in the 40s. So advanced age, advanced practice in Krishna consciousness, and a situation where it is likely you can keep your bonds. Uh, so I think even outside of ISKCON, it's not done to give sannyas to young men with 20. Let's say very rarely in exceptional cases. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at an early age, 20, 24, no? Or 25, okay. Very early in his 20s. And even then, um, senior devotees were concerned, like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was at that time in charge, let's say, of the Jagannath Puri temple. He was very concerned. Such a young sannyasi, he's so beautiful, he's in danger. And so, and he decided at that time to instruct Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Vedic scriptures with the hope that will give him stability. Because our spiritual understanding, our scriptural understanding is a base for how to act and how to guide our life. It gives us a lot of strength if we understand it properly. Of course, still you also have to act uh, in a way that supports your consciousness. But the basics is first of all good understanding. Prabhupada, I think he said to Tamakrishna Goswami at one point later, after that, I don't know how much after that, but I think this is 1976, so Prabhupada, yeah, August 1976. So Prabhupada is there with us about 1 year more. So around this time, Prabhupada commented, when I gave sannyas to you, because he also gave sannyas to Tama, Krishna, Goswami, and all of you, he said, it was out of emergency. Most of you will go down because you are not qualified to have sannyas. But I'm in an emergency situation, like in a battle, on the battlefield. If you have to defend, then okay, there are no qualified soldiers, no expert soldiers. Take anyone who can hold a weapon and fight. No, of course, this is not a physical fight here. No one is taking up a weapon, but it's a fight with that Prabhupada is speaking about, with material energy, with Maya, and establishing a worldwide movement that he, Srila Prabhupada, did as a fully qualified devotee, but with all new boys and girls who just recently started practicing bhakti with not much idea of what it means. I mean, they were devoted to Prabhupada, they were very enthusiastic and dedicated, but no experience. And maybe you know in your life that with experience, everything gets better in Krishna consciousness. You become more stable, the mind becomes more stable, intelligence is better oriented, and old habits that you might have from previous life, from your life before Krishna consciousness, and from many, many lives in the past, from other lives, they gradually vanquish. But it is a question of time. Now, the application of Krishna consciousness, our advancement, is depending on two factors. the intensity with which we practice Krishna time is multiplied with each other. Less intensity, it takes longer time to make advancement. And less time, but full intensity, still you cannot develop so fast unless you have a lot of advancement from past lives. So, and sannyas in Kali Yuga, even in advanced age, is very difficult. Therefore, in the scripture, even it says sannyas is forbidden in Kali Yuga. It's even in advanced age, it's exceptional. What to speak of young age? So Prabhupada's comment here, when he heard this, he said, money and women. Is another word for Maya, material energy. That what is disturbing us, that is attractive for us on the material plane. Now, of course, all kinds of things are attractive for us, for the material senses, for the material mind, for the materially contaminated intelligence. But from the viewpoint of a man, is money and women is the most aggressive on our consciousness, most attractive for the mind. And yeah, for women, it's also the other sex, men, for sure. Maybe also money, maybe other things, also beauty, and so on. Of course, there are more things. There are reputation, fame, or at least acceptance is very important for us to be accepted. How much of our daily activities, of our expression, what we just do with a consciousness of being accepted, appreciated by others. Otherwise, we would behave maybe quite differently, more like an animal or whatever. We do many things for social acceptance so that people like us. And also, we want material funds, we want enjoyment. And the base of enjoyment is to have money. Now, with money, you can buy all kinds of enjoyment. Without money, you are in a difficult situation. And now it's winter in Germany. Zero money. Okay, you still have the government, the job center. Okay, they give you a flat. But in other countries, it's not like that. You are on the road, on the street, in the forest, in the park, no food. And even if basic necessities, like in these countries, in Western countries at least where we live, okay, basic necessities are always fulfilled. But you want more. You want more enjoyment because if there's consciousness, all the happiness depends on my senses and on my mind, especially psychology, how I feel. How can I be satisfied? Is yeah, in my material necessities. And material means physical, of course, food and shelter and many other things, but it also means even more psychologically. And this is a big topic of the mind. So, psychologically, physically also, but I think mainly psychologically, women and money, or men, at least. And for a woman, you can translate it in your terms. So, this is Prabhupada's comment. When I asked if any prosecution should be filed against Madhudvisha if the suggestions prove correct, he said that the GBC should decide. So I means uh, Harishauri Prabhu is a personal servant of Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is not saying much, he's just saying money and women. So then, to clarify a little bit, what should we do about it as a movement? Um, because other important devotees are also there, Hare Swami and maybe the temple president of Vrindavan temple and others. What should be done? Prabhupada said, the GBC should decide. Reports of this nature, coupled with the management problems here in Vrindavan, because we are speaking now about a problem in Australia. Prabhupada has a worldwide movement, but presently he is in Vrindavan. And Vrindavan is a management problem, are really too much for Srila Prabhupada. He rubbed his head and complained, now I'm getting brain fag. The Prabhupada was affected physically even. It's a big concern for him, and because he is relying on his disciples. This is what Krishna gave him, young people from young boys and girls from the hippie scene in America, Europe, Australia, and around the world, most of them, are dedicated but not experienced, and with a lot of samskaras in the mind that make spiritual life quite difficult. So, but Prabhupada is guiding a worldwide movement. He wants to fulfill the prophecy and the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his predecessors, the acharyas, that Krishna consciousness conquers the whole world. So he is very much involved in the movement, and whatever happens affects him personally very strongly. This is his service. Now, a devotee of Krishna, his main concern is, how can I make Krishna happy? How can I serve him best? So if it doesn't go well, we are depressed. It cannot be that our service is not going well. If you are a cook and the food doesn't come out well, you cannot be happy. Or you are, whatever you are doing, and it's not okay, it's not my problem. I'm doing this for Krishna. Krishna gives a result. Things like that. He thinks it's my responsibility. Now, of course, I'm depending on Krishna for the result, but I'm doing my everything what I can do to make it work. I'm taking responsibility for failure. If the things come out well, then it's all Krishna's blessing. It's not that I'm great. Krishna made it. If it's going wrong, it's my fault. Devotee thinks like this. Even an advanced devotee like Srila Prabhupada, especially advanced devotee. Newcomer devotee doesn't think like that. We have the tendency when we are new, or when we have the internal nature of being a Kanishta Adhikari, a beginner, when our activities come out well, wow, I've done well. Just see how well I'm doing. I'm happy. Little pride comes up. And if it doesn't go well, the fault is others. No, they didn't supply me the proper ingredients, and or this went wrong or that went wrong. Because we are dealing with a material energy. Material energy means we have a false ego. And as long as a false ego is not to extent, we always feel like this. that when something goes wrong, it's another one's fault. Or we may blame even Krishna for it. Krishna, why are you doing this to me? Now, I'm trying to serve you. Why is this happening to me? And well, if you turn to Krishna and you are really a devotee, even in your mind, these thoughts appear. Gradually, you come to your senses and say, you will say, oh, Krishna, I'm sorry, I'm such a rascal, please. Please tell me what to do. Tell me what to say. And tell me what to think, even. Please help me to get a proper understanding. I think we are all very dependent on that. At least I can say this for myself. I can say this for myself. I am dependent all the time for Krishna to rectify my mind. That I don't have the proper attitude. Krishna, help me to think properly. And we know from the scriptures, we know from the books, if we really read what genuine bhakti, authentic bhakti is about, we know when we have a certain attitude, we should know, our intelligence should know, remember, and understand the way I think and I feel now is wrong. We need to know that. Otherwise, we go deeper into the wrong direction. And when you feel and you think wrong, you will also speak and act wrongly. So the thing has to be already corrected in the mind. If a wrong thought is in the mind, you should be able to identify and say, this is wrong, and try to correct it. And if you are not able to correct it, you are in the wrong attitude. I'm very angry now on others. They have spoiled my service. Or anything that you identify, you know, is not the right attitude. And you cannot rectify it yourself. The only solution is to ask Krishna to help you. Krishna, help me to think and feel in the right way. I have to do it a lot. At least I don't know what you do in these circumstances. So Srila Prabhupada was affected. So Hari Shauri is saying, I was puzzled. I have never heard the term, and I asked him what it was. He's speaking about brain fag, because Prabhupada says, I have brain fag. I'm getting brain fag, and Hari Shauri doesn't know what brain fag is. So I don't know. Is a headache or something? We will see now. They speak a little bit about it. Prabhupada repeated, brain fag. Then he told us how one time in Delhi in the 1950s, he was walking all over from one office to another, trying to distribute his Back to Godhead newspaper. The entire production of the paper, writing, editing, proofreading, purchase of paper, overseeing the printing, and all the distribution was being done by he alone, with no assistance from anyone. He said he was working very hard. So once, while he was out in the hot sun, he developed brain fag and began to feeling like a drunkard. But he had no money even to stop a taxi. Fortunately, by Krishna's arrangement, just at that moment, a friend of his appeared. Prabhupada smiled at this recollection and said, so I was struggling very much, just like some of our book distributors are doing now. A little later, Srila Prabhupada discussed the allegations against Madhudrisha with Harikesa Maharaj. Prabhupada told him that even if the reports are true, now let's see what comes. Prabhupada says, even if it's right, and he ran away with a lot of money, he should not be prosecuted. After all, he told him, Prabhupada told him, okay, Swami, he is our own